Hello and welcome to Pro Cycling Manager 2024. Today we're doing a bit of a challenge concept. What I really want to try is start a career with a low-ranked team and try to take that team all the way to the Tour de France. Thought it would be a cool thing to try that. I don't have to win the Tour de France. I'm very happy not winning the Tour de France. I think it'd be just cool to get a team that is ranked very poorly to the Tour de France, and with that I thought it would be very cool. Let me select the Continental and then sort by team eval to go with a Korean team, which is the one right here, KoRail, which is barely half a star. We also know, or I kind of think that Korean cycling is not very highlighted in today's world, and I think it would be a cool thing to be highlighted. So I would like to go with a Korean team. Maybe for a future challenge it would be nice to go with this Turkish team or this Egyptian team to kind of see what we can do. There's also a Nigerian team and a Macedonian team. Those are also really cool. Okay, I might do challenges with those in the future and see where we end up with them. I think it'd be cool. For now, let's start off this challenge with KoRail cycling. 9 riders. You see they don't have any stats wise preference peaks, and let's see if we can get this team to the Tour de France. Yeah, shall we? I think that'd be a cool challenge. Right, and we're in the game. I won't try and bore you too much with the standard settings that we have and how things are and how things go, because you've probably seen it a lot already. I'm not the best at Pro Cycling Manager. I've only played it for a couple of hours, but I enjoy it a lot, and I thought it would be fun to make a little series in that and a little challenge in that as well. Here are our riders. As you can see, the best rider is our oldest one. It's Kim Hyun-suk with 29 years old, 2.5 stars, 3-star potential basically. Mostly sprinters, a couple of hill riders, one that's more for flat, but most of them are in the end sprint riders. So not the most diverse team, not the most exciting team either, which makes sense that they're the lowest ranked. Onto the planning, I try to skip it through and times to it, so it's not the most exciting, because I know it's not the most exciting for you guys, and yeah, just speed through it so you guys have something more entertaining to watch into the races. Although all of this is kind of mandatory to get through, and get done. Otherwise, what do you do with your cyclists, right? Not ride any races? It's impossible. Along with doing the planning, it's a lot of deleting emails, skipping through time, just getting ready for the overall season. Probably one of the things you saw, which I will do later, is assign my riders to a training camp, which I 100% forgot in the beginning, which probably is a good thing to do because you need your riders prepared and ready for the new season. Anyway, try to sign up for as many races as possible. I love longer races that stretch out over multiple days. I dislike the one-day races because I suck at this game. And if you have multiple day races, at least you can fix it on day 2 or 3. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for and trying to see if I can do it. Onto our objectives. I try to keep them accomplishable. Obviously the national series are always ones that are set quite high, right? With getting first or something, I'm happy if my visibility is 1, and you can see the rating on that is quite high as well. Other than that, I just tried to set the objectives as something that I could obtain. I would like to keep them a bit ambitious. I think it would be good to get top 20s in our races, especially if they're multi-day races. I'm not expecting to win everything. I'm not expecting to get top 10 everywhere. If we get top 10 in races, I will be very happy. So that's kind of what I am aiming for, and I think that'd be a good aim for our team in general, especially in the first season. Try to get as many races under our belt as possible, try to get them better. A lot of them are still relatively young riders, right? They're very heavy on the sprint, so I hope I select a lot of flat sprinty races, which is a lot of the lower ranked races. The higher, I've noticed the higher you get in your ranking and your prestige, the more difficult and hilly the races become, the lower quality / difficulty the race is, the more it's surrounding towards sprints at the end, flat races that are sprinty. Then onto our first race. It is the Tour de Siac, a tour with 3 stages. All of them are quite flat, and so what I want here is to have riders that are obviously good in sprint, obviously that are good in the flat, and that have a decent fitness. The game automatically selected Li Yumin, which is 67, which is not the best. I'm staying with Kim Hyun-suk because he has the highest sprint and the highest rating out of all of us, so I'm hoping that this team will get some decent results, and we will see. We're obviously not the best in this race, like I said. These people have way better sprint and acceleration, all the way, I think the lowest there has a 66 sprint, which we come reasonably close to at 64. But we're not supposed to have a top 10 here, and that's okay with me. I think that's why if we get a top 10, I will be quite happy and satisfied. You see that there's some sprint marks in the race as well here. I'm hoping to get through, maybe get some additional seconds there, get some additional sprinting points, maybe get a nice little sprinting jersey, and maybe even do better within this course by picking up some of those seconds there that are part of this race, right? That would be great. Alright, you heard it. This terrain is for people who are good in the flat, and that's what we are hoping to achieve as well with our team, so that's an excellent part. Beginning of the race, you see immediately that a bunch of riders are trying to step away, and you see me fumbling with the controls trying to figure out how everything works again. Which is because, again, I haven't played this very much, so it's me just trying to basically figure out how does everything work again, what do the buttons do again. It's been a while since I've played this as well, so that doesn't help with it. And yeah, we're just trying to go through. Obviously the race, there's some people now that jump away. Hong is quite towards the front, so I tried to jump away with them, tried to follow them. Again, the goal maybe to try and find some points and seconds in those in-between sprints that we have. But in the end, I think if we can't get that, we'll rely on Kim Hyun-suk to deliver us towards that top 10. That's what we're going to try and aim for. As you can see here, trying to get my riders up to the front, see if I can achieve anything with them, or see if I can get Kim Hyun-suk towards that first group that is trying to get away. Because if I can get him some points and extra additional seconds, and I can get him to a good little sprint here at the end of this first little race, that would give us a great spot within the GC, right, the general classification. I think it would be fantastic. But as you can see, they are riding relatively hard. They're riding around 50 kilometers an hour. The group ahead, 29 seconds away, slowly expanding, and I can't really get my riders into a decent position. You see I'm hovering the sprint / attack button, trying to figure out what to do here. Jung is very nicely covering for Kim, and I'm sending Hong forward to see if I can pull our peloton forward towards the group, decrease the gap that's happening right now, right? It's currently hovering around 30 to 25 seconds, and try to decrease it. Again, first race of the team, trying to get good points here and trying to get some good results immediately off the bat, because that's what we want to go for, to position ourselves for also maybe some interest from more experienced riders later. Apparently I'm having some issues with the volume, so I'm upping that a bit, and then lowering or increasing the FX. And now you can actually hear cycling noises, which is good. Yeah, so I have 2 of my riders up front, and the gap is increasing, which is worrying. That's not what's supposed to happen. And obviously the first 3 that come across the sprint line here will get the points. So we already filled the first sprint objective, which is a bit disappointing. I'm going to try and sprint with Kim for some reason. No idea why. Realize that as well when I get to the front, that it's kind of a waste of energy what I'm doing, and stop him immediately. So that is what it is. Still have Joe up front, or you'll see if I can do something, but it doesn't work. So I fall back and just let the peloton do its thing, and we move forward. Heading up to the second sprint point, you can see that we caught up to the attackers again. We're one big group again, And I thought, okay, we have a little bit less than 5 kilometers to go. Let's get our sprint train going. Let's practice it for that final sprint. You know, let's go. Hong up front. Heo, he has the second highest sprint stats. So Hong up front, Heo behind, and Kim Hyun Sok as last man, to see if I can get a good sprint with him to get these extra seconds, right? To see if and see obviously like if I can even manage this. 1 kilometer to go. I sent Heo to sprint. Jung apparently decided that it's his time as well, kind of blocking Kim Hyun Sok, but we get all 3 of these points and bonus seconds. John apparently decided that he wants to be part of that sprint as well. But yeah, getting the points there, which is great, and you can see that. On the top right, we are certainly in second place for the sprint points, which is nice. Getting towards the end here, 6 kilometers to go, pulling up that sprint train, trying to get it together. We're getting blocked by all the teams. I'm trying to get forward. This is where it shows that we are not a very high-ranking team with high-ranking sprint stats, right? I'm trying to get everything. Energy gels are going. Hong is trying his best to lead us forward. Joe is losing the spot immediately. We have 2 kilometers left to go, and I tried to sprint. Jung apparently decided to just hammer one out and just go immediately. Joe found his way towards the front. Heo and Kim are stuck behind all the other riders, but we're trying really hard to get past. And in the end, we get Kim, I think here, looking at this, at a 8th spot. Top 10 in our first race. It's nice. Not exactly the idea that I wanted, but it's not bad. I'm happy with the first race here being a top 10. Checking the results, as you can see, 8th in the thing in the GC, 5th on points right now, and 4th in the GC, which is quite good. We're missing a lot of seconds here, but it's fine. Jung apparently number 1 in the young riders classification, which is interesting. 6th in the GC, and 8th is Hill. So I think overall, pretty good start after first race. Not bad. Second race, still flat. Same team, obviously, trying to get some points here. Maybe do the same tactic as we did last time, hoping that one of the other 3 positions will falter, right, and we can get past them. Gonna try our best and get some points and seconds in the first 2 checkpoints, or first 2 sprints, and see if we can, yeah, just get some additional seconds. That would be the goal. Again, not part of the top 10. Not surprised.
Hello and welcome. The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
Right, so another flat profile, as the commentator said. Heo is quite up front, so I'm hoping, seeing that I think he was 8th at the last GC overview, I'm hoping to sprint away with him at the beginning. I fumble a bit. I'm like, I don't know how this works. Where's the buttons? Which buttons do I press? Immediately lose all his energy. And the Japanese rider up front is has 0 issues, right? Casually containing that 13-second gap average, sometimes extending it a bit, sometimes not. And we're struggling to keep up the gap to the peloton, so the peloton is also not really letting us go. But I'm really hoping that we can get a group of 3 going, and then I know that Heo has decent enough sprint stats to maybe win those in-between sprints and get those bonus seconds. Turning up the speed a bit, but as you can see, our lead towards the peloton is diminishing over time. I tried to keep up, I tried to keep going, but we don't have any help here in this little group that we have, and I just decide to give up. The Japanese rider, zero exhaustion, as you can see, still going hard, extending his lead now. Apparently the peloton was like, yeah, we got that Korean guy. No need to chase after that, and so they let another 2 riders go. In the end, just before and we obviously don't even get a chance to get the first checkpoint. Up to the second checkpoint now, where I'm hoping to get some additional points and seconds. So I try to push onto the front. There's 2 kilometers left. We have a 21-second gap to number 2 here in the race, and a 17-second gap to the guy that is leading the pack. So I'm hoping that I can get some points here. at least like second. Jung sprints, Heo is behind him, Kim Hyun-sok is behind him, Jung with an incredible sprint. Heo apparently as a lead out is rocking it, and he gets second place instead of Kim Hyun-sok, which is not what I wanted or expected, but you know, it's an additional, I think, 2 seconds for him, and an additional 1 second for Kim Hyun-sok, and some additional points. So it's, overall, it's fine. Back into the peloton again, and you know, let's do this flat until the end of the race. 5 kilometers remaining now. Again, have this little sprint train. Try to keep go hard. Try to keep in the front. Trying to not get caught between all those riders or behind all those riders as I did last time, which was not super great. But we're trying really hard here. 2 kilometers left to go. Hong with a massive lead. Sprint by Jung, and as you see, Yo on the right side apparently. Heo now going. Heo doing alright, but Yo absolutely blocking Kim Hyun-sok, making sure that he can't get past. And Heo actually did really well in this race, leading us to a 4th place for him. Kim Hyun-sok another 8th place for him. I think it should move us up in the general classification, which, you know, is kind of what we're aiming for. As you can see, 4th place for Heo, 8th place for Kim Hyun-sok. I am quite satisfied with that for that stage. 3rd now, I think, in points for Heo, 8th for him. And Heo all the way up to 5th. Kim Hyun-sok apparently losing 3 spots, which is weird in the points classification, but that's okay. Time-wise, Kim Hyun-sok losing 2 spots into GC, which I didn't really expect, but you know, it's fine. Heo moving all the way up, and maybe Heo here is our #1 rider instead of Kim Hyun-sok. He's been doing really well, currently at a 7th place in the GC. We need to try and build that out, even if we want to get a higher position, maybe even top 5. I'm thinking of betting it more towards Heo than Kim Hyun-sok at this point. Right, as you can see here, beginning of the race, skip the nice little introduction part. Heo, #1 in the Young Riders GC, now sporting that lovely white jersey right there. And trying to get away with him to sprint forward, hoping that the other teams don't really give enough of a care to do anything with it, but Heo failing at jumping. Let's be honest here. I tried, I failed. The teams are very, very poised on keeping everyone together here. You see these blue jerseys here just rushing forward and keeping control over everything. I tried to jump away again to try and get to make the gate. I get a little bit of a gap here with Kim Hyun-sok, right? He is now, I think, number 8 or number 8 within the GC or something as well. So even if I can get a point or a couple of points in a couple of seconds, I think that would only benefit him, especially with a good little end sprint towards the end. Heo currently trying to get protected, right? He is the highest ranked GC rider in our team, and Kim Hyun-sok now in the first group trying to make things happen together with Shin. We have a 45-second gap towards the peloton, which is great. A 13-second gap towards #1, but you see him sitting up already. He's waiting for us, and now we can have a lovely group of 3 together to try and hope and make it to that first point and try to get those points there. Get those points in seconds. I actively participate in the riding, or try to actively participate. Obviously sit up a bit. I need to save my legs for a while towards that first point. And yeah, trying to gather as much energy as I can so we can do a good sprint and get those bonus points. "17 kilometers to go, however. We get caught. Apparently the peloton, the group not really working together, the peloton really going for it. And 2 additional riders just jump away and make it. I didn't really expect that. I wasn't really prepared for it. So we didn't kind of build there. And my bets are all on now. The sprint train towards the end of the race. Caught the group, trying to really get with that sprint train again, trying to get a better position this time and really deliver Heo to the front. Maybe get some additional points with Kim Hyun-sok and Hong here. Great positioning all the way to the front. really pushing Heo forward, but I sprint way too early with Heo. As you can see here, 1 kilometer to go. Kim Hyun-suk already lost half of his energy, and the moment I start sprinting, everyone just passes him because I started too early. So 9th place for Kim Hyun-suk, 10th place for Jung, and Sung-soo Heo of her team getting a 10th place. I think overall we can be happy with that positioning, and a 6th place overall in the GC for Kim Hyun-suk, which I think is okay. A 2nd place sadly for Heo, because the rider in this last, I think it's Liam, just gained so many seconds in position. He went all the way up from 10th to 2nd. So in the end, 6th place for Kim Hyun-suk, 9th for Heo, 11th for Jung, I think. Is it? Yeah. And 2nd and 3rd in the young riders classification. Not the best, not the worst, but good first race. We tried. Now then, the overall results that we have, it is 13 points total. Kim Hyun-suk, obviously with his good classification, got 10 points. Heo Sun-sol with his results in, I think, the 2nd race where he did quite well, getting 3. Gives us a total of 13 points. I think a good start for the first race. And obviously we'll try to go for more and better points towards the future races. Let's see where we can end up. If you like this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to get the other one out, or the next one out, as soon as possible. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.